I had just finished dancing inside and I wanted to spread my wings outside. I looked good that night. I looked very good. But that gallery was so hot the sweat made my makeup run. And my bald head started steaming outside. I wanted a cigarette. How was no one smoking a cigarette on that sidewalk? I wasn't about to smoke one of Daryl's cloves. He was trying to get into that girl's panties anyhow. He didn't even notice all my gloriousness towering over him. I yelled, "Cigarette! Cigarette!" Nobody gave their queen a cigarette. I walked over to Daryl and these two girls looked up at me as if I was an angel sent from the pussy of Nefertiti herself. And I was too. The steam rising off my head was a nice touch. I asked them, "Is this old man scaring you?" Neither of them could speak. That's how I knew I was queen. "Oh," Daryl said in that shaky-ass warble of his, "I'm not old." "Okay, Mr. Tribeca, please tell us your age." He laughed and said, "Mr. Tribeca, I like that. Kind of like Mr. Universe." Oh my God, he flexed his skinny arms like he was on Muscle Beach. That bladder of flab over his belt couldn't fit into a jello mold. I said, "Put down your arms, diva. Where is my cigarette?" He moaned, "I didn't know you wanted one." A gentleman always offers. He said, "Who said anything about me being a gentleman?" "Oh, girls," I said to them. Tribeca Daryl almost weaseled himself into some fame in the 70s for his performance art. If you talked to him for just 5 seconds, he'd probably tell you that the new museum bought a picture of one of his little acts. But performance art was out, baby. People who collected these baubles wanted things that they could nail to their walls. These Wall Street boys like to nail lots of pretty things against their walls. Daryl had started his own third-rate gallery in Tribeca, and that was a no man's land in the 70s. It was the closest to Soho he could afford. And the LES was not happening then, honey. No way, no how. When he opened, he'd try telling kids like these girls that he was a Soho dealer. But darling, everyone knew who was really in Soho. And Tribeca Daryl was not in. He got his nickname because people were onto him. He just got lucky that everyone else spilled over to Tribeca when rent went sky high. He said, "This one's an artist," and pointed at the girl in the leather jacket. The other girl pouted and gave him a look. I said, "Daryl, honey, I think you're speaking to two artists." This green-faced little goblin on the curb said, "That's right, we both go to Cooper Union." Daryl didn't care about her, though. He kept his grabby little eyes all over this girl who was standing up. He said, "What's your ism?" "My ism?" she said. Yeah, how are you making your art the next big thing? The scene's changing every 18 months now. 18 months? Yeah, fuck. Don't tell me that Cooper Union is teaching you that something like pop or minimalism can just go on for fucking decades anymore. No, you're smart. I can tell you're already hip on smart art, post-abstract abstraction, neo-conceptualism, simulationism, Neo-Geo. She said, "I think those are all names for the same thing." He didn't listen to her and said, "I feel bad for you young artists trying to make bread today, man. In the 70s, you could take your time. You could slowly work your magic and develop your ism and not worry about success until you were really ready to show your shit. I worked on this one piece for an entire year before I showed it to anyone. Then I worked on it for another 6 months before I sent it to the gallery. The new museum has it in their collection now. Now, man, fuck! People expect you to show at a blue chip gallery by the time you're 24. How old are you?" She said 19. And he's all, 19, fuck! You got about 5 years before nobody cares about you anymore. You gonna get your shit ready in that time? Leather Jacket looked like she was trying to stop herself from tearing Daryl's face off. But then this other girl finally stood up to say, listen, asshole, Celia Merode is bringing her slides to Mary Boone this week. She's gonna be bigger than whoever the fuck you are. I like this one. And then Daryl whined, Mary Boone, I'll tell you what, if Miss Boone doesn't work out, you can bring your slides down to my gallery and I'll check them out personally. Here's my card. Daryl is so ridiculous that his card actually said Tribeca Daryl on it. He wandered back into the crowd with that ugly cowboy shirt billowing open. Girls, I said, do not listen to that man about isms. He's just licking his nobody cares about me wounds. Daryl is just another never was. There are a lot of those around here. They barely make enough room for the never will be's. Did you see the paintings in there? I pointed my thumb's purple nail back at the gallery. They said, we only saw you. Oh, honey, that makes me feel so good. Maybe somebody will pay $10,000 to nail me against their wall. But really, honey, nobody is buying anything in there. It's a party. It's a fun party. But people don't go shopping at parties. The blown-out Wall Street boys buying this flavor have already moved on. Don't waste your time trying to make yuppies happy. Too many boys are putting out work before it's marinated. There are too many Apollonias and not enough Shaka Khans out here. So please, girls, for my sake and your own, become a couple of little Shaka Khans. I lifted my wings beneath the streetlight, and honey, I flew.